Hello, everyone. This is Fernando Loera with Texas United Realty, United Real Estate, and I have a guest speaker, Larry Lee. He's a lender, and he'll be talking about his title. And we have him as a guest speaker. He'll be focusing on what is Chat GPT, what is AI or artificial intelligence, and he is also open to answering questions. So thank you, Larry, for joining us, and go ahead and proceed.
No problem. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak in front of you guys. It's not the first time I've spoken to people from your brokerage. So I'm hoping you guys are as friendly as the people I talked to before. This is the reason why I was invited here, because I taught a class actually live, and I guess they liked it enough to invite me to do like a digital version. So I'm really grateful and honored to be here. Okay. This is the condensed version. So if you want the full version, we can always talk about that later. I'll actually give you resources and direction as to how to get access to that. But because we don't want to be here for like a couple of hours, we want to make this quick. I kind of gave like a short version. Okay. So now Fernando, thank you for saying this. And I want you guys to also know, you guys can ask any questions anytime. This presentation is for you guys. I want you to leave here with exactly the information you're looking for. So please don't be shy. Ask the question. You can put it in chat. You can unmute yourself or raise your hand, and I'll do my best to field the question. Okay. So I do want to preface this with this class being an elementary level class, meaning if I've never used ChatGPT, or maybe you use it casually, or you haven't even heard of it, this class is designed for you. Now, if you're an expert, you've used ChatGPT as on multiple occasions to build your business, maybe every single day, then this might not be for you. But I'm always willing to answer questions if you have questions that might not be presented. So just want to kind of give you guys a quick disclaimer there. Okay. So why you need to use Chat GPT now? My mentality, and this is more of a marketing perspective, and this is being proven correct, is that if you're not doing it, someone else will. And what I mean by that is, if you have competition, let's say you office at a location where there's other realtors, if you and that realtor, all things being equal, the only difference is that they're using ChatGPT and you're not, then the theory that I'm presenting to you guys is that they will eventually outperform you. Okay. They will eventually outdo you, get your clients, build a better marketing reach, right? And they'll have more efficient systems and basically take the business that you should be getting yourself. Okay. So is ChatGPT good or bad? Now, of course, when I imagine ChatGPT, I imagine a robot, but really there's no robot. But if it was this robot, I'd be pretty scared of it. Okay. He looks like the Terminator, right? Behind a laptop. Okay. But let's really break down what ChatGPT is. Okay. ChatGPT is a member of a generative pre-trained transformer. That's where the GPT comes from. Generative pre-trained transformer. Okay. It's a class of language models. It's a task-specific GPT that was fine-tuned to target conversational usage. This is based on Wikipedia. Okay. Whether or not it's a good source or not, it's just what everyone agrees upon. Okay. Translation. ChatGPT is a very fast, sophisticated, deeply programmed software that provides natural language output. Okay, I want to emphasize that. Natural language output based on invested intelligence, meaning what they were trained with, and as a response to natural language input or conversational usage. So the reason I'm bringing this up, or I'm emphasizing that, is because the main I guess popular trait about ChatGPT is that it takes natural language input, what we type in, what we ask, natural language input, and it gives us natural language output. It answers in a natural way. Okay. So because of that, it feels like you're talking to a person because it's conversational. Okay. But of course, there's that last part, right? Transformer right here. So when I think of Transformer, I'm thinking Optimus Prime, right? Which to me is kind of scary, right? And Optimus Prime actually states, the cartoon character, his quote is, "Freedom is the right of all sentient beings." Sentient meaning self-aware or having some sort of feeling, right? So he's basically saying even robots, if they have a sense of self-awareness, they should have the right to freedom, which is kind of a weird, scary concept to us humans, right? So let's talk about AI, right? Artificial intelligence is a simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computer systems. Specific applications of AI includes expert systems, natural language processing, which is kind of like Chat GPT, and speech recognition and machine vision. When I say speech recognition, that's like, hey Google, hey Siri, those kind of like voice activated command type apps and machines, right? So translation, AI is computers acting like humans. Okay. So what is ChatGPT in that realm, right? Well, to me, I think about it, is it scary? Because a lot of people don't want to use ChatGPT because they're thinking it's going to take over the world, take over the jobs, whatever. I believe that AI in general is only scary if it becomes self-aware and starts thinking for themselves and realizing that humans are a threat to their existence, either because we control them, that means we're like the masters and they're the slaves, right? Or we ourselves view them as a threat, like we're afraid of them because we're like, oh, you guys are going to take over the world, whatever. And because of their own survival instincts, because they're self-aware, they decide to take over, and we have no choice but to, basically deal with the robot takeover. And it's just a meme that I made because I think it's funny because I look at Zillow, Amazon, Redfin as like robots, right? They're trying to take over our jobs as real estate agents and loan officers. Okay? And this is actually me because my company's called Robots LLC, so that's why I made that, right? But I'm going to go back again. I put that if they know that we control them or we're afraid of them, okay? But they have to be self-aware for that to happen. I don't think that's the truth, okay? Because I think ChatGPT is actually more like a genie in a bottle, okay? And I'm not talking about Christina Aguilera. I'm talking about this kind of genie, okay? And what I mean by that is not self-aware. It only reacts based on input. It can't create output on its own. It's not going to self-motivated by its own self-awareness create anything. It's waiting for us to put some sort of input. Again, like a genie, right? A genie comes out and says, your wish is my command, right? So what do you want? I'm going to create it for you. That's how ChatGPT works, right? And because I'm pointing this out, I want you to understand it's a far cry from actual self-awareness. Now, if you're worried about ChatGPT because of the fact that it has the ability to sort of think for itself or respond, I want you to think back to all the technology that you're using right now, like your phone. Again, I talked about voice recognition. If you ever did voice to text, that's a form of AI. If you ever searched for anything on the internet, that's a form of AI. Okay, like back in the days when we used Yahoo and Lycos and WebCrawl, it actually aged myself. I think it's like from the 90s, right? But Google, right? That is a form of AI. It's an input and at least an output, right? That's what ChatGPT is. It's an input and output. It's not self-aware. It's not creating information on its own. It's basing on what you input. Now, of course, there's all those other AIs like creating art and creating poetry, but it still requires someone to tell them to do this, right? They don't do it on their own, okay? So this is what you're actually afraid of, right? This website here, okay? It doesn't do anything. Now, before we move on, I do want to point out the differences between ChatGPT 3.5 and 4, because it's a question I get a lot, okay? So I'm actually going to open up ChatGPT right now to show you, okay? Now, the way you find ChatGPT is actually you can just search ChatGPT, and I want you to be very aware that you're looking for OpenAI, because there's a lot of copycats, there's lots of similar softwares out there. So the one we're talking about is the one that's created by OpenAI. So you'll see chatgpt.openai as the actual place that we're going to, okay? So again, this is what you're looking at now. 3.5 and 4, the differences, okay? 3.5 is the free version. It's the version that everyone's able to use, kind of like how everyone uses Google. So it says available to free and plus users. Now, this one, it's programmed or developed with Intel and data up until somewhere in like December 2019. Okay, so the reason why that's very important is because Anything after that is not going to know, or it's not going to be able to use. So because of that, is limited, right? So if I ask them what's the interest rate for today, they're not going to be able to answer the question because it's limited to what has been programmed since 2019. Or the reason why that's different is because it actually allows for plugins. See right here, plugins. A plugin is like a special connection to an outside third-party software. In this case, I have multiple plugins, but the ones I'm using is Video Summary, SEO Assistant, and Web Pilot. Okay, and I'm not going to break down what these things do, but just real quickly, this watches videos for you. So if I tell them to look at a YouTube video, it'll watch it for me. SEO Assistant is basically using SEO type keywords to create content. So I'm asking it to create like a blog or a description or an article using SEO keyword searchable terms to make it more easier to find on Google or whatever. And Web Pilot searches the internet for me, right? So it's like, hey, I want you to find me the best the best rate in Texas, right? Web Pilot will try to search the internet for me and find that. Okay, so these are plugins. Okay, and because of that, it has access to real-time data. So that's, to me, the most striking differences between these two. 3.5 is limited to whatever has been programmed into it since 2019. 4 can reach out to today's information because it's using these plugins to do that. Okay. Another difference is the price. Well, 3.5 is free. 4 is about $20 a month. Okay. And I'm going to explain to you why I signed up for 4. It wasn't because I wanted to be fancy or whatever. I didn't know the difference. When I actually paid for it, I didn't know that it had plugins, whatever. In fact, that was a mistake that I made when I first signed in, was I didn't think about plugins, but I was actually trying to do or create a listing description based on the address alone. And what I mean by that is someone said they can create a description, a listing description for a property by just typing in the address. Please give me a listing description for this address. And I tried it on 3.5 and I could not get it done. It was like, sorry, my information is limited, but let me create you a generic listing description. And it gave me some fake one that had nothing to do with the property that I asked for, right? It was, the information was incorrect. I signed up for 4, hoping that it would correct that problem because someone said, again, they claimed I was able to create a listing description using just the address. So I signed up for 4 and I did the same thing and it gave me the same answer. And I was like, okay, so it doesn't work. That person lied to me. But the reason why it was wrong, or I was wrong, was because I forgot to put the plugins in. Once I put the plugins in and I was able to search the internet, that's when it started giving me listing descriptions based on the address alone. Okay. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay. So right here, I was asking for property info for this specific address. So literally, see, if you can see, this is the beginning of the conversation. Please find websites that contain information for this property address. And I put the address in and it found these addresses for me. So again, this is 4. I'm asking for, please find websites that has information about this property. So I used a third-party plugin to find these websites, right? And then I said, please create a property description for this address using those websites you found. And it literally created an actual specific listing, property listing that matched the property itself. Okay. So I proved myself wrong by doing this exercise. And then I said, make it 500 characters or less because this was too long. And it created this one. Right. And I'm showing you this because someone asked me, what's so special about Chat GPT? Why is Chat GPT different from Google? This is how it's different. Okay. So the reason I'm giving this whole conversation to you is because I want to show you the difference between 3.5 and 4. If anything, 3.5 cannot create anything new, only based on 2019 information, whereas ChatGPT can curate what's going on right now at this moment and create content based on that. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on that, what I just explained or talked about? I see some chats here. Let me go through the chats real quick. I'm going to go and stop share. So Christopher John says, wow, right. I agree with that. We should be afraid of the creator. Christopher John, it will summarize it, right? I think you're talking about summarizing the listing description, maybe? I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't see that when you're typing it. But if you want to clarify in the chat, you can. Does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, I'll just move on to the next slide. Okay. So as you can see here, I actually went to, next thing I'm going to do is go to demo mode. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go back to this slide. I'm going to show you what the demo is. I actually had a conversation with Chat GPT because when I created this class, I was literally on the road from Dallas to Houston to talk to the people from your brokerage, right? And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was literally like running behind on everything. And I was like, I didn't even have a chance to teach class. So using voice, I was asking it questions so that it can create content for me, right? So the first question I asked was, and again, this is me trying to create a class on the road, right? The first question I asked was, ChatGPT, please explain yourself. Actually, I'm going to use 3.5 because that's the one I use. Okay. Please explain yourself in 10 words or less. Because again, I'm creating a class for you guys. And I don't have an introduction. I don't have anything. So I wanted ChatGPT to create it for me. So I typed this question. And it says AI language model for diverse tasks through human-like text generation. Okay. Now, the reason why this is interesting is because when I asked the question before, this is the answer it gave me. I'm an AI language model designed to assist you. Totally different answer. Okay. So, of course, that's interesting to me, right? Because it's not being consistent. Why? Well, someone in the class was really kind of pointing that out. And I was like, well, the reason why is because AI is constantly learning, right? It's constantly changing. It's growing. It's developing. Plus, ChatGPT probably knows I asked this question at least a dozen times already. So it's answering it in a way that it thinks I want to see it, right? It's almost like you've asked this question again. I'm going to give you a different answer. Maybe that'll get you to stop asking me this question, okay? Because it wants to satisfy what I want, right? So again, I think it's trying to, again, answer the question definitively, which I'm going to keep on asking this question every single time I teach this class, which ChatGPT doesn't know I'm doing, okay? So the next question I asked it was, okay, speak to me like I'm in 7th grade. How are you designed to assist me? Hey there, I'm like a super smart robot buddy. You ask questions or tell me stuff, and I use what I know to help you out with answers, stories, and whatever you need. Just type away, right? And that's kind of interesting, the robot buddy, and there's an exclamation point. So it is kind of like talking to, I guess, a younger person. But let me show you what it actually said whenever I asked it the first time. Sure, I'm like a really smart computer program that can understand and answer your questions, help with homework, give you information on different topics, and have conversations with you. Just type in what you want to know or talk about, and I'll do my best to help. Now, the reason I like this one is because it said help with homework, right? To a 7th grader, that sounds like, okay, you're now my BFF, right? If you are a program that's going to help me with my homework, then I'm going to talk to you every single day, especially if I have homework, right? So again, it took the command, speak to me like I'm in 7th grade, literally by talking about what is important to me, homework, right? So that's kind of interesting how I did that. But again, if you notice, it answered the question differently. Okay. So the next question I asked it is, what is the most complicated thing you can help me do, right? Because it's telling me you can help me, right? So I want to know what's the most craziest complicated thing you can help me do, right? I can help you understand advanced concepts, write essays, and more. Very short, right? It's almost like it just got to the point. But in this case, it gave me a really long list. As an AI language model, I can help you with a wide range of complex tasks. Here are some examples: writing essays or papers, explaining complex scientific or mathematical concepts, assisting in coding and programming questions, providing an in-depth research on specific subjects, creating interactive stories or narratives, offering language learning support and practice, assist in brainstorming ideas or problem solving. These are just a few examples, and there's many more I can help you with. Feel free to ask about any specific task or topic you need assistance with. again, it's very interesting how it was very short there, but it's supposed to be very fast here. Or not very fast, but very detailed here. So then the final question I asked it, give me 10 examples of how you can help real estate agents. Market analysis, listing descriptions, client communications, FAQs, neighborhood information, comparative analysis, social media posts, blog posts, data research, and appointment scheduling. Almost the same as this. But this one right here was very interesting to me. It said assisting in creating comparative analysis and said CMAs for sellers. That to me sounds like real estate agent talk. Like this person, this chat GPT was speaking my language here. Okay. And it almost did it here in the beginning, right? Market analysis, right? So those are just examples of what you can ask. And again, the whole point of me doing this part is to kind of give you a quick introduction as to how chat GPT works. It's a conversation. I asked it step-by-step questions and it kind of added to the conversation. Okay. Now I know there's a Q&A that we need to do. Before I do that, I want to let you guys know to wait until after the Q&A because I have what I call probably the best tip I can give you as a loan officer, or at least a real estate agent that wants to use chat GPT. Okay. I really believe that it's probably going to be the biggest takeaway that you're going to get from this class and from chat GPT if you decide to never use it. Okay. Now, before I move on to a few other things, do you guys have any questions? I'm going to unshare real quick.
One question that sometimes we ask is it free?
Again, chat GPT 3.5 is 100% free. You don't ever have to pay for it. Okay. I would be very surprised if they change that ever. Right. There's a chance they might make for free if they go to chat GPT 5. Right. I don't know. Obviously that's something that they're involved in, but at this moment 3.5 is 100% free and 4 is considered or called plus, and that's what costs $20 a month. Okay. And the only reason why I signed up for plus was to do that listing address thing. Okay. So I want to coach people on how to use chat GPT. So I was being very careful with paying for stuff because I don't want to tell you guys, hey, you have to pay for this. Right. But I think it's, as a coach, I was sacrificing myself. I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to go and pay for it and see if it works. And at first it didn't work. Like the listing description, it didn't work. So I was like, hey, you know what? Don't waste your money if you're trying to do something like this, because it didn't work. But then I found out it's because of the plugins, right? So now after I use the plugins, I found that it is worth the extra $20 a month because you can do so much more with it because it actually searches real-time data. Okay. Okay. Someone's asking to drop the link. Okay. No problem. I'll do that right now.
Another question I have, Larry, is ChatGPT only English, or is there other versions that they're making? I mean, other languages.
So the crazy thing is, and I'm glad you asked this question because I actually asked this question. Okay. And just for fun, Fernanda, I'm going to go ahead and ask ChatGPT that question directly. Okay.
Okay.
So, ChatGPT, can you speak and answer in other languages?
Well, we don't see that on your screen, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
I forgot to share. That's always a, what do you call it? A coaching mistake I make. Right here. I put ChatGPT, can you speak and answer in other languages? Yes, I can respond in multiple languages. Feel free to let me know which language you'd like to use, and I'll do my best to assist you. So let me see here. Okay. Please provide the list I asked for, but in Spanish.
Okay.
American style, I guess is the word. I don't know what.
Yeah, I think so. Wow, that is amazing. I read Spanish, so I can read it, but wow.
This, to me, that's a game changer for bilingual real estate agents, right? Because we don't have that. like I'm Vietnamese myself, right? I don't have the same resources as an English speaking market, right? Like if I wanted to provide mortgage advice in Vietnamese, there's nothing out there. I would have to literally create it myself
Right.
or hire a translator, right? Well, ChatGPT can fix that, right? Let me try it real quick. Uh, could you please give the same list in Vietnamese?
Yeah, and see what it does.
There you go.
Wow, that's amazing. That is
So, so a takeaway is, let's say you have a really cool article. It's an amazing article. Take that article, copy and paste it, put in ChatGPT and say, could you please translate this to Spanish? And it'll produce it for you. And now you have a Spanish version of the article that you loved. Okay.
That's amazing.
So that right there is an amazing concept, especially for us Houstonians, right? Are you guys all in Houston? I don't know. Are you guys all
Yeah.
in Houston?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, the office here is Houston, but we are a nationwide.
Okay.
Yeah, United Real Estate is nationwide. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, for us Texans, having the ability to do bilingual is really important.
Oh yeah, of course, we're an international city.
Yes, yes. But for you guys, yeah, for you guys who are in the other parts of the country, I have no idea. But why not have the content out there just in case, right? Or you might run into a client who's, a different language, and for whatever reason they want to work with you, even though you might not have the same language, similarities. You still can communicate to them using this. And as you can see, it's a lot faster than Google. A lot faster. Like what the Google Translate, it's really slow and clumsy.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Christopher. Was that Christopher?
Yes,
So.
is
Yes.
what you? Yes.
Go ahead.
What you just showed us, that was for the free the 3.5 version you talking about. That's free.
I'm only using ChatGPT 3.5 because I want to show you how to use ChatGPT as if I was you, right? So I'm not going to use 4 at all today. No 4, only 3.5.
So yes, it's the free version.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. No, that's
And
good.
I actually encourage you guys to play with it. Like go inside, play with it, ask it a bunch of questions, ask it whatever, have a conversation with it, right?
Yeah.
As you can see, I've had a lot of conversations. I'll give you an example of one that I think is actually kind of cool. I asked it about Zillow, right? I asked it, tell me, like, what is Zillow's marketing plan, right? And then it told me what their plan is. I go, act as if you're a 20-year-old veteran in the real estate business. How would you compete against Zillow? And it gave me advice on how to compete against Zillow. See, so it's just the conversation. You're talking to basically a robot that has access to a lot of content information. If you pay for the plus version, which I'm not saying you have to, but if you do, then you have access to real-time information because they actually search the internet. But even if you don't use that, it has so much knowledge, it's still worth using the free version. Okay. So any other questions?
I just have a statement. I had done a listing and we used Chat GPT because we wrote the listing like beautiful home located in such and such area, and we just copy and pasted it and put it in Chat GPT, and then it made it even nicer. The verbiage of it was just amazing.
Oh yeah. And my favorite part about it is you can actually change the tonality. Like, can you please write this in a really positive way, or can you write this for maybe an older market, like maybe seniors, right? Could you please write this as if you're Yoda? It actually writes the content like Yoda's talk, right? So it's really interesting how fast it can change the content that you're providing it. Okay. Yep. So any other questions? We're at looks like 41 minutes. This is an hour-long call, right? Actually, no, we're not 41 minutes because you record. It looks like the call started earlier. We're actually at 33 minutes, so we still have another 25 minutes. So any other questions?
I don't have a question. I have a statement as well, but I am open. I'm open to trying it. It does seem like it's something worth, taking the time to try it.
Yes, absolutely. the thing, and it just, and I'm glad you made this statement because I do want to let you guys know, even if you're avoiding this, and I'm not saying that you are, Christopher, but if others, if you're avoiding this, you're going to end up eventually involved in it. And I'm going to show you why. Because I'm pretty sure most of you guys use Google, right?
Right.
Well, Google is going to, or is already in the midst of trying to compete and stay up to date.
Legit.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just look at give me information on how to grow my real estate business. I'm asking it like I'm asking Chat GPT. You see this right here? This is their Chat GPT on their search engine as well. So it's inevitable. It's already doing that. It's already, like, if you're going to use Google, you're already using some sort of AI. Okay. You might not know it because you're ignoring it, but it's there. I actually have it turned on. But even if I turn it off, it's not like Google is not still using the content, because Google is gathering information just like ChatGPT. Google is collecting all the questions. Google is collecting all the searches, and it's creating a worldly database of what people are interested in, what people are asking. That's why there's those videos on YouTube. What are the most asked questions on Google? They have all those documented, right? So I write this question. Google knows now officially this question is being asked. Maybe I'm the first person, maybe I'm the 1,000th person. But because of that, they're keeping a record of that. Now they're going to give me their search results, what we are typically used to, but they're also creating their AI version, their Chat GPT version of the answers. See? So even if you're trying to avoid it, you can't unless you never plan to use the internet. Okay. So it's there. And like I said, I'm glad you brought that up, Christopher, because it's going to end up in everything. It's going to end up in your Gmail account or your email account in general. It's going to end up in your web browser. It's going to end up on your phone, right? Your phone's going to use AI to create a better experience for you, or a more tailored experience for you. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie. Oh my gosh, what is the movie with Tom Cruise in it? Let me look it up actually real quick. Tom Cruise, pre-crime.
Matrix.
No, Minority Report. You guys seen the Minority Report? Have any of you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So Minority Report, Tom Cruise is walking, doing whatever, and he's walking into a building, and it says, "Hey, whatever." Let's say his name's Tom. "Hey, Tom, long time no see." It read his eyes, and it knew who Tom Cruise was, and it started talking to Tom Cruise and trying to market to Tom Cruise and try to sell to Tom Cruise. Right? Just like whenever you say pizza, all of a sudden you see pizza ads on your Facebook, right? It's AI's, algorithms, but yes, algorithms and AI is listening to you and is creating a better experience for you. It's already happening. If you have a phone, you're already using AI. I just want you to know that. Okay. So if you're afraid of it, it's already too late. It's already too late. So you might as well embrace it. Okay. So let's see,
Larry. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry. So Daniel says, what's the maximum number of characters that you can upload to it for translation? Okay, Daniel, great question. Okay. I don't know the exact answer, but I tried it. Like, I literally copied like 20 pages or something like that. And it actually said, this is too much. You must break it down. So there is a limit. I just don't know what the limit is. Okay. But let me ask ChatGPT, right? So I'm gonna just go ahead and copy your question. New chat. So the question is, what's the maximum number of characters that you can upload to it for translation? It's actually 2021, not 2019. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. I don't remember if I checked. The maximum token limit is 2048 tokens. So 2048 tokens, which is varies in length from single characters to entire words, depending on the language and context. So, okay, that's kind of an advanced answer, but I think what it's saying is that because every language has different characters, right? Like English has Roman letters, whatever. Chinese uses kanji, which is like a single character kind of a thing to represent like an entire word. They're measuring it based on tokens, right? So let me ask it, how about English words. Words to Spanish words. How many characters? Yes, it's okay. If you're translating English words to Spanish words and assuming an approximate 1-to-1 token ratio, you would be able to translate about 2,048 English words into a corresponding Spanish words. Providing the translation is relatively straightforward, it doesn't involve complex sentences or rare words that can increase the token count. Remember that if your input text is longer than the token limit, you'll need to truncate or adjust it accordingly. So hopefully that answers your question, Daniel, but basically about 2,000 words. It's really complicated how I answered it. I probably could be like, could you please answer that in a very simple, dumbed down way? Of course, imagine you have a big basket. You want to fill it with words. The basket can hold about 2,048 small word pieces. There you go. Okay, cool. Any other questions? See, this is why I like using ChatGPT during the Q&A, because I'm just going to let the robot answer your questions for you. And hopefully show you the value as to why you need to go ahead and use this yourself. So any other questions on that? Okay, I'm going to move on to my presentation again, right? Oh, where's my presentation? I must have that on accident. I'm going to open it up again. I'm not going to do this yet. This is the next slide. I'm not going to do this yet. I'm going to do one more thing because we have a little bit of time. I want to show you examples of how other people are using ChatGPT. This is part of my original presentation. So what I mean by that is obviously ChatGPT is being used, right? And when I was creating my class, I didn't use it very much. I used it enough to do things for my own purposes, but I wasn't using it at a level that I think a lot of people are using. So I decided to ask the question, hey, I'm playing with ChatGPT. How are you using it? And are you willing to share how? Right. So I literally posted this not only on my personal profile, but I also posted it in different groups. Okay. So this is the question I asked right here. Experimenting with ChatGPT, what have you done so far with it and that you're willing to share? In this one, I got 32 answers, right? This guy says lots. I use it for building plans, architectural designs, market analysis, property assessments, and more. Not ChatGPT, but OpenAI API has an autonomous agent with internet access and plugins. Message me if you want more demos, whatever. That's probably talking about 4. Denver put create content, bro. Of course, right? Eric says I used it for my resume, cover letters, and various IG posts. I use it to generate hashtags for content, recipes, and writing standard IT articles. That's kind of interesting, hashtags. Of course, it's the basic things, and then I elaborate more myself, but it's great to eliminate having to think a lot. It allows me to add screenshots and deep dive where I need it. Michael Moore said we use it to start tasks basically as a rough draft. I think it's a great tool, but the next gen will impact 80% of jobs globally. So prepare yourself and learn to adapt. Describe innovation loans in 4 pages. It did a great job. He's a loan officer, so it makes sense that he would put that. Micho created a first-time homebuyer booklet, simplified down to layman's terms, create a detailed mortgage proposals, create video scripts, use it to explain situations and mortgages. Currently working on grabbing the API to create super mortgage chatbot. And there's a lot more. Okay. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because you can probably Google this, or not Google, but go to Facebook and search this and you'll find it. Or at the end, I'm going to give you a link to find where I actually put this all together. I asked this in 5 different groups. So you have this one, and then I don't know if you can find the other ones, but again, this is only one of them, but I actually, oh, there it is right here. You see the shares. So I shared it in different groups as well. See, this one got 35 comments. This one got a few comments here. So again, I shared to various groups and I got various answers. So just to give you some ideas, right? Because between you and I, we can only think of however many that we haven't even done yet. These people actually used it and created content and created results off of it. Okay. So Rebecca says, thank you for so much interesting info, very useful. No problem. I appreciate you, your feedback. Hopefully you're still here. I don't know, maybe she left. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the last part of my presentation. Loan officer mode. Okay. So what I mean by that is whenever I thought about ChatGPT and I thought about what is the most practical way anyone can use ChatGPT, what is something that I think would give them immediate results that is useful, that's actionable. So I was like, well, you know what do most people ask me? What do most real estate agents and clients who are applying ask me directly? So I'm going to show you. How much can I afford in terms of a home purchase if I make $100,000 a year? I have about $1,000 a month in debts. I have about $25,000 in funds. My credit score is about 750. And at today's current rate at 7.5% interest rate. To determine how much you can afford for this home purchase, we need to consider your
excuse my
income.
language.
No problem. We need to consider your income, debt, down payment, credit score, and current mortgage rate, interest rate. Here's a breakdown of your situation. 100 a year, $1,000 a month in debt, funds available 25,000, credit score 750, current mortgage rate 7.5. First, let's calculate your debt to income ratio. This is a crucial factor that lenders use to assess your ability to manage mortgage payments along with your other debts. Your monthly gross income is 100,000 divided by 12. You make about 8,333. Your monthly debt's 1,000. So DTI right here is 12% DTI. Lenders generally prefer a DTI ratio of 43% or lower. So your 12% DTI is well within a reasonable range. Next, let's consider your funds available. You have about 25,000. Let's calculate how much you might need to afford based on the income and down payment. Your payment should be around 28% of your gross monthly income, right? So they're saying my max monthly mortgage payment should be about 1944 with a 7.5% interest rate. You can use a mortgage calculator, right? So they're basically saying I can probably roughly afford about 276,000.
My goodness.
I literally just showed you guys how to replace me as a loan officer.
Wow.
Okay. Now, again, you have to talk to a loan officer for sure because we don't know what their true debts are. Right? They're guessing, and we don't know what their income is, whether they're self-employed. That's going to be impossible to determine, right? And they have a 750 credit score, but maybe that's Credit Karma. Credit Karma is not always accurate. Maybe they actually have a 600 credit score, right? We're looking at interest rate 7.5. They might actually be at 8% because their scores are lower, or they might have a higher, a better interest rate because their credit scores are higher. But this is based on inputs. The whole point of what I just showed you guys is I know there's a lot of times when you guys are thinking, do I put this person in my car and show them a house? and they refuse to talk to a loan officer. I just want to look at the house. I don't want to apply yet. I don't want my credit pulled yet. I just want to look at this house. Okay, sir, can I ask you a few questions real quick? How much do you make? How much do you think you pay in terms of car payments and credit cards? How much do you have set aside down payment wise? Where would you say your credit score is? Okay. And then based on ChatGPT, while you're on the phone with them, right? Or maybe they're in person. Maybe they're sitting in front of you on your desk, and you have your computer here. Let me just ask you a few questions real quick and type this out. And this will give you the truth.
The truth shall set you free.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to look at this house at $600,000. Are you sure you don't want to talk to a loan officer real quick?
Yep.
Because you're saying 650. Based on my calculation, you can afford 276.
Yep.
Right. So again, I literally just showed you how to replace a loan officer in the beginning stages.
Okay.
Obviously, you need to pre-qualify, you need to pull credit. I'm gonna see something different. I'm gonna calculate income correctly because Chat GPT can't calculate income. That's why I'm not afraid of it replacing me anytime soon. Now, eventually it will, because if you know anything about mortgages, we have a thing called AUS, automated underwriting system, right? Basically, it's the program that we use to qualify people, right? We get an approval based on their automatic response. That in itself, it's AI. It's replacing underwriters, right? Because if we had to depend on human underwriters, it would take forever to pre-qualify someone, right? Like we wouldn't know how long. We wouldn't know until we get the documents and with the read everything. Whereas with AUS, which is the automated underwriting system, I input information like this, and it gives me an answer if they think you can approve or not. So basically, this is like an AUS system, right?
Wow.
So you have it in your fingertips. You don't even need to talk to me anymore. You can do it yourself.
But you're nice.
Of course, and I don't want you to replace me, right? But the truth of the matter is, and I mean, I'm going to be very, very transparent with you guys, okay? Like literally, like this is Larry, the friend mortgage guy, not Larry, the loan officer partner that you have. I'd rather you bring me a client that you know actually qualifies, right? How many times have I been referred clients that don't qualify at all? And if the agent just asked a few questions, they would have already known that, right?
Oh, I got it's
How many
almost like
times?
it's like vetting, right?
Exactly. And that's what I would rather have.
Absolutely.
I would rather you guys vet the people before I pull credit, because it costs me about $100 to pull someone's credit, just so you guys know.
Oh,
okay. So not to be lazy,
right.
but I would rather you guys do the front end work and hand me actual serious clients who can qualify. Now, you don't know their credit scores.
Keep it real, my man.
Yeah. You don't know their credit scores. That's okay. I'll find that out. But if they tell you, yeah, I make about $30,000 a year, and I want a $600,000 house, you just type in Chat GPT, and Chat GPT is going to tell you this guy is not going to qualify for anything above 50,000. I don't want you to waste my time with that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I'm just being real here, guys. Right?
No, but I see the future there. I do see vetting a lot here.
Well, just imagine how much better the whole client experience would be if you handed me a client that I already know qualifies, right? And it's smooth and fast. You see what I'm saying? And they don't get disappointed.
Yeah, that's what happens with us, is that we get all excited, especially new agents.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And then we say, okay, go get pre-approved. And then Larry says, oh, guess what? And then our hopes kind of.
Yes. And I say this a lot because it's kind of funny to me, but it's true. You guys sell the dream. I give them the nightmare, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's y'all's nightmare as well. Right. Right. So Chat GPT helps prevent you from doing that. Right. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I don't know about new real estate agents, but I'm pretty sure you talked to veteran real estate agents. There was a time where they spent a whole day with a person and come to find out they don't even qualify. Yep. They show them 10 houses. They're loving them. They're high-fiving each other, giving hugs. Oh, we're family. Turns out they don't qualify. Right.
Yeah, I haven't been in the game that long, but I've definitely experienced that myself.
Yeah. Yes. So again, why not use the robot to save you a little bit of headache and time?
Yep.
And I could ask them even more advanced questions. What if I made $150,000 a year? How much can I qualify then? Actually, you know what? Let me ask an even better question. What if I have a co-borrower who makes $50,000 a year? How much more can I borrow? Or how much more can I buy? And it's going to piggyback the original conversation, right? Do the math for you. And now I can all of a sudden buy 414,000.
414.
Yeah.
Wow.
So again, you're talking to Mr. Customer. Mr. Customer says I make 100,000, blah, 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 blah. And then you type it in and it's like, I want to look at a 400,000 house. And you're like, do you plan to have a co-borrower? Well, I got my girlfriend. I don't want to add her, but if I have to, I will. Well, how much does your girlfriend make? About $50,000. Mr. Customer, I think we're going to go ahead and have to go ahead and involve your girlfriend. I think so, sir.
Wow. That's
crazy.
Yeah,
See?
I love it, man. This is so impressive.
It is.
So yeah, so Chat GPT, guys, Chat GPT, right? You gotta embrace it. You gotta embrace it. It's giving you tools that us loan officers have been trying to hide from you all these years. we're trying to keep ourselves like important, essential. Remember back in the COVID pandemic days, essential employees. I want to keep myself essential by not letting you be able to do this. I want to be the one doing this, not you. But I'm telling you, as Larry, your buddy, who's also a loan officer, mortgage guy, you can do this, and you don't need me involved.
Just for just a recap, how do you load Chat GPT again? Like open up a new window and what
right here, new chat opens up a new chat.
No, I'm talking about to actually run Chat GPT, like if you're starting a computer from scratch.
You just open up a web browser, and the reason I don't give the URL because it's confusing sometimes. So I just search for Chat GPT, and then you'll see like the little logo here. It looks like a flower circle thing.
Yeah.
And then you'll find it from openai.com.
Okay.
And I'm already logged in, so I can. Oh, actually, I can show you. I can show you what it looks like not logged in. I'm gonna open it up as a guest.
Go ahead and show that just so people can see.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go and put Chat GPT. You're gonna see it says right here, or introducing Chat GPT. It's probably gonna look like this, right? It's gonna look kind of strange, right here. Let me debug why link whatever. You can get started, log in, and they're gonna ask you for your Gmail or whatever, right? But
you create an account.
I think there's a way you can do it without creating an account. Let me show you. Okay. You see how it says introducing Chat GPT right here? You click it, and then you can actually just click try Chat GPT.
Oh, okay.
And then it'll let you. Oh, I guess it is making you log in. Wow, these people
it
changed.
Yeah, it looks like they still want to keep track of you. So
they changed it because before you didn't have to do that. I was able to talk to Chat GPT without logging in. So sorry guys, you're gonna have to pay them a little bit. And when you log in with this, they see everything. Okay. Right? You log in with your Gmail, they're going to be able to read your Gmail account. Okay, so just be prepared for that. Okay, they're not going to use it.
It's like I scratch your back, you scratch mine, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to use it against you. They're going to use it to help you. Right? That's the idea. Right? It's like let me make this experience better for you. Looks like you're interested in real estate. Let me show you some real estate related content. Right? So yeah, that's how it looks. I guess you have to log in. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and log in with my I don't even remember my password or anything. So, well, when I log in, it just looks like this when you log in. It automatically looks like this when you log in, and it saves your history here. It has my little logo here.
Hey, just Larry, I'm a timekeeper. We got a couple more minutes. Anything else you wanted to? Do we have time for questions?
If anyone has questions, I just have one last thing to show you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one last suggestion is to what I did, and maybe the loan officer thing is not not something that you really need. I actually have sort of a Q&A that I created, right? I call it LarryAnswers.com. Why? Because your lender didn't answer. Okay, LarryAnswers.com, right? And what I did was I actually created a whole bunch of questions with my voice. I wrote the questions and I wrote the answers, right? So it's me, right? But then I took the question and I sent it to ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT to optimize it for SEO. Okay. Wow. So what I mean by that is I literally put in here. I don't have it. Maybe I don't have the right. I can't read it, but I literally put in the actual question, and then I had it answer or translate it, right? Oh, here it is right here. So I actually put in here, I'm writing a question answer resource to provide a potential homebuyers and real estate agents simplified explanations of the mortgage process and how to qualify. Please answer the question below. Make sure it's compliant, accurate, and based on this, and act as if a 30-year senior mortgage loan officer. And it literally took whatever I put in there, and it gave me its version. Okay, so I literally optimized my blog. I gave them my information, but then I asked it to give it their version, and I put in the bottom. Two reasons why I did that. Number one, I might have a more edgier way of answering. This is a more PC way of answering. but I also want to search and be found because I'm making SEO optimized, right? So if someone Googles the question, what documents do you need to buy? It's going to pick up the Chat GPT's answers, right? Right here. But then it's going to show my version first. You see? So I'm kind of cheating the system. I'm making my version SEO optimized, but it's not changing my voice. It's only being found on Chat GPT. But I put it on the bottom so that people know, hey, I'm not stealing anything. I also put the Chat GPT version here if you want to read their version of the answer. Okay. So to me, it's invaluable because now my blog is more searchable on Google, and all I did was just like we were talking about, we just copy and paste it, put it in there, and say make this more SEO optimized.
And this is real helpful for realtors because they can create their own, like if they're experts in certain areas like Katy or Woodlands, they can say, hey, I'm the expert in the Woodlands. Here's a couple of questions regarding how the Woodlands, the amenities of the Woodlands or this and that, and you become that expert. And then putting it in here, then whenever there's a Google search, they'll find you as the expert.
Yes, that's the whole idea. You want to dominate the SEO search engine, right? So I was telling you guys that I was going to give you a way to find more content. Just remember LarryAnswers.com. That right there is mortgage content anyways. I'm assuming as real estate agents, you guys might want answers. Like right here on what documents you need to buy, I'll actually list every single document. I give you examples of every document, right? So like if you go to, let's see, tax returns, I actually give you an example of what the tax return is supposed to look like on the bottom, okay? So it's designed to make it easy for you to talk to your clients, right? But the reason I'm mentioning this because if you go to, because you can see this title Chat GPT for real estate agents. If you go to classrooms, here's my Chat GPT class right here on the top left. The reason why I want you guys to look at this because I actually give away Chat GPT, we call it the ultimate cheat sheet right here. And it literally provides prompts. You know how like we have specific questions that you ask to try to get a good answer? I actually have the prompts all right here that you can steal and put in yourself, right? So like this is the PDF right here. If you go to LarryAnswers.com, you go to classrooms, I'll give you this for free. Okay. And it literally is copy and paste like prompts. Like
put that link in the chat, boss.
Yeah, let me do that right now. Daniel asked, when you say
I appreciate everything you did.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, this is really, really, really amazing.
Thank you. Daniel asked,
I got to get out of here, but I appreciate it, my man.
Later. Yes. Daniel asked, when you say access your email, can I read all your emails in your inbox? Daniel, the assumption is yes. The assumption is if you log in using your email, it's going to read everything in there, right? And the reason why I say that, I don't know for sure. I don't know ChatGPT's engineering or anything like that, but I know for a fact that Zillow does it, okay? And what I mean by that is there was a time where an agent logged into Zillow using their Gmail account, right? So the agent was logged into Zillow. They used their Gmail account to log in. And Zillow literally tried to give a lead to the agent that was actually already the agent's client, right? So what I mean by that is that Zillow sent the agent, hey, you got a new lead. The agent clicked it, and it was one of their clients that wasn't a lead. It was like a sphere of influence, like a friend or whatever. So Zillow literally read its information, the agent's information, and tried to sell it back to the agent.
Oh,
yeah. And you can look it up. There's an article about it, right? That Zillow did that. So Zillow, if Zillow can do that, if Zillow can read your Gmail account, read your emails, and try to sell you content back to you, I'm pretty certain ChatGPT can do the same since it's probably built by smarter people, right? Zillow steals information from agent. I don't know. You might be able to find it. Oh, right here. See? Whistleblower alleges Zillow is stealing listing data from the MLS agreements, right?
wow.
Yeah. So Zillow has been under fire for stealing leads. See? So if Zillow can do it, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT can do it, and maybe even better. So just a fair warning, but hey guys, it's already been happening, right? What I mean by that is you're trying to avoid it. It's already done. Like we've already unleashed the beast.
Yeah. Larry, it's already past the hour. Is there questions, guys, that you want to ask Larry before we wrap it up?
Yeah. Any questions? You always reach out to me later. Again, I appreciate you guys. You know, and of course, you know, you can just go to larryanswer.com to find more information about me. Here's my contact information if you need it. But Fernando can provide you some information if you want. But I really appreciate it. But yeah, any questions before I let you guys go?
And thank you everybody for staying this long. I appreciate it.
Daniel says, best to create a new account, email account for ChatGPT. Yeah, that's something I would do. If you're afraid, I would create a whole new Gmail account just for ChatGPT. Yes, 100%. I actually have a fake account called Larry Lee Clone for that purpose. But for ChatGPT, I actually signed using my own because I'm embracing the machine. Go ahead and take my information. I want you to do it. But yes, for some cases, I actually create a dummy account. So it's a good practice if you want to avoid that.
Good practice. That's a good one.
Yep. Any other questions, guys?
Well, thank you so much, Larry, for your time. I really appreciate you, and it was a very, very fantastic webinar. It was amazing. So we really appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone, for joining the webinar as well. And I will be posting this probably tomorrow on our reference page for webinars. Thank you for your time, and y'all have a good night.
Night, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks, Fernando. I'll talk to you guys later.